people, I'm Ginny Metheral. I'm a fourth generation witch. Today we're back with my ever popular Almanac series, looking at what witchcraft you can do on Witch Day and why for the month of February. So as always with this series, what I like to do is to give you a general overview of the witchcraft trends that happened throughout the month of February, and then we'll look at the nitty-gritty day-to-day detail of what witchcraft, when and why for each day. Let's crack on with my overview. February starts with the Sabbat of Imbolc, one of our cross-quartered days, and it marks the start of spring. Now, the start of spring means that you have to do some preparation beforehand, and so throughout the last couple of weeks of January, we have been scrubbing our houses and ourselves, purifying our homes and our spaces in order to welcome in the spring with cleanliness. February itself, the word, comes from the Roman februo, which means to purify by sacrifice. And the sacrifice of purification means that you use smoke or you use water and you sacrifice the use of that water or that smoke, for it is purging yourself to begin your coming season of spring with cleanliness and joy. So, as you all know, we've all been scrubbing mightily for the last couple of weeks, haven't we? Well, I try. I've got this new thing where I try and kick out 3 things from my house, be they a paperclip, some old clothes, or a table which is broken. You know, it doesn't matter the size. I just have to take 3 things from my house out every day because I'm a bit of a hoarder and I just don't need this stuff. So whilst I'm recording this, which is still January, this is currently how I am preparing. February is very much a pregnant month, isn't it? It's got that sort of waiting, watching feel as we dig into the energy of that new birth that's coming through. It's not like the wild hedonism that is Beltane or March, April. It's a much more gentle energy, is it not? And so our witchcraft will reflect that with gentle preparations and intentions set for this year. February is also the time when the birds begin their ritual of singing, because of course the birds are about to choose their mates, and so February you'll start to hear them sing. I'd only heard a robin and a wren singing recently, but now suddenly this morning I woke up and I heard the most beautiful thrush singing its heart out with the most stunning sky. And this really thrilled my heart because it does mean that we are approaching those glorious months of summer, which is my personal favourite. I am a summer girl, not a winter girl, although I'm quite enjoying this winter season this year. I think it's because I've got heat in my house for a change. Normally we don't have much heat, but this year, for some reason, we've managed to keep our house warm. February is also the month where we start to pay attention to the floral display that is about to happen. February is a month where the flowers that bloom, such as the primroses and the snowdrops, are very nectar rich. And this is in order to feed the poor starving insects as they come out of their cold hibernation or whatever they're doing over the winter. And February therefore has the most sweet flowers. There's 2 flowers most associated with February. The first being the wonderful snowdrop or Candlemas bells, because it looks a bit like a bell and it's white, and the other is the sweet violet. If you make wine from February flowers, such as violet wine or primrose wine, it is particularly sweet and glorious, and it is something that I have to say, if there is enough flowers out there, I will enjoy doing. February's flower of the month is the sweet violet, that beautiful violet pansy type flower. It will carpet the floors before the canopy opens, and it is particularly associated with love. But it's not any old love, it's particularly associated with sapphic love, a lesbian love. And so should you be female or identify as female and be with your female identifying partner, this is the flower for you. February is the month where the goddess Bridget reigns supreme. Bridget is a wonderful Celtic goddess. She's the goddess of fire, she's the goddess of poetry, she's kind, she's beautiful, and she's deeply connected with the moon. Now, the moon itself has an 18.57 year cycle between itself, the earth, and the sun. And so a lot of stone circles in the UK, for such like the Merry Maiden or the Boscawen Circle in Cornwall, have 19 stones because this is a lunar calendar and therefore particularly female. The moon is a female moon. So this is a month where we look to the moon and we can go out to our stone circles of 19 stones to celebrate the lunar cycle and to use lunar magic to really increase the power of our spells. So that is my overview. Now let's move on to the day-to-day detail and look at the nitty-gritty witchcraft you can do. We're obviously going to start with the 1st of February, which is the Sabbat of Imbolc. Now I have done a whole video on Imbolc Sabbat, so therefore I'm not going to talk too much about Imbolc in this particular video, but I have got a couple of further points that I would like to make. Imbolc is a cross-quarter day Sabbat, and it is reigned over by the goddess Brigid. She has wrested control from the Cailleach, the winter queen, or the winter hag, and therefore now is beginning to rule supreme. She's a goddess of fertility, a goddess of milk, a goddess of poetry, and of fire. So this is the day, the 1st of February, where you would make a Brigid's square cross. This has been taken over by the Christian faith and claim to be Christian, but they're not. They're deeply pagan. They're deeply Celtic in origin. If you make one of these crosses and hang it outside your home on the 1st, Brigid, should she pass by, will touch it. This will ward off evil, hunger, and fire from your home for the coming year. The 1st of February is also a day for weather divination. If it is bright and fair, then this means that winter will return and it is not over yet. And if it's foul and cold, then winter is almost done. This is very much like the Groundhog Day of the States, where if the groundhog sees its shadow, i.e. the sun is out, then it will disappear underground for another 6 weeks because winter is still here. So let's hope for a foul and cold day on the 1st. However, you would like to see the weather clear and bright of an evening because Venus, the moon and Saturn are in close dance with each other. And this signifies a time to create, a time to love, and a time for the earth. And you should be able to see it quite clearly with your naked eye. And finally, the 1st of February is a day for the snakes, because this is the day that they traditionally raise up from their lair and start their mating dance. And so should you be in a spring, an underground well, or anywhere that is, sacred to snakes, have a look for them there, because it's their time. I quite like snakes, actually. I find their energy is incredibly protective. And so for snakes, I'm a bit of a fan. The 4th of February is the day that the snowdrops are officially in bloom. Now, snowdrops have a sort of a slightly unlucky feel about them. The Christians believed that they represented the shrouds of the dead, and they often are in graveyards. They were called Candlemas bells by them because they came out at the time of Candlemas, which is the Christian version of Imbolc. Snowdrops themselves, in the pagan tradition, it's incredibly unlucky to bring them into your house before the 1st of February, before Imbolc itself, because this will bring evil times for you for the coming year. But you can take them inside today. The 8th of February is actually got nothing really to do with witchcraft. It's more an occult happening. It is the anniversary of the day that the devil's footprints appeared in the snow throughout a very large stretch of Devon. One morning, the residents of this area woke up and saw cloven-hoofed tracks made by a 2-footed beast walking across the land for miles. I always like this story, so I thought I'd tell you about it today. The 10th of February is a day that you must watch out for to see if it snows, because if it snows today, you must not travel at night, because terrible misfortune will befall you if you do. So stay indoors, don't go anywhere. But I don't like travelling in the snow anyway, because, I'm not a very good driver. But I have to say, I would not be going out, whether it snows or not, in fact. The 11th of February is the best day to put your hound and bitch together so that they can breed their puppies, because this is under the moon of Aquarius, and it means that the puppies that they will have will be biddable, tameable, and loving. The 12th of February is the night of the full moon. This moon is known as the cold moon, the storm moon, the Lenten moon, the ice moon. However, this particular full moon is in Leo, and Leo is a burning, bright sign, is it not? So we are thawing our way into spring with Leo, with fire in our belly. It's a great time, therefore, to radiate outwards and connect with others. Have a party, invite people over. This full moon will ensure that your party goes with a swing. The 12th of Feb is the day when the older trees are hung with catkins, and it is today that you should pick these said catkins and bring them into your home. What this will do is this will stop the march of fleas and ticks that are about to happen coming into your house and keep you flea-free. I suspect it's got some kind of natural insecticide in them, which is why you would do this. So get your catkins from the alder tree, bring them inside and place them in the likely areas, by your dog's bed, where fleas and ticks might hide. The 12th to the 14th of February are known as borrowed days. They're borrowed from January. So what we're looking for is that these 2 days should be extremely cold, wet, foul and snowy, preferably, because this means that our summer will be bright, sunny and warm. The 14th of February is, of course, the bird's wedding day. This is the day where the birds choose their mate. And so when you get up in the morning, you should look out of your window, and the first bird that you see will signify the type of person that you will mate with yourself. So let's read this. If you should see a goldfinch, you will marry a wealthy person. If you see a sparrow, you'll marry a farmer. If you see a woodpecker, you'll remain single and won't get married at all. If you see a dove, you'll be a happy and loving relationship. And if you see a robin, you will marry a sailor, or someone at least who makes their living from the sea. This is also the day to do a love charm, and this is the old love charm that you might not have known that you were doing when you were young. Pick a daisy and pull off each petal, at the same time saying for each petal, they love me not. And this is a very old charm to do on this day. Although it is the bird's wedding day, it is also associated with St. Valentine. Now, I've no idea who he was, but it does mean that you have to give flowers to your loved ones. If you are in a lesbian partnership, may I recommend that you give a bunch of sweet violets? And for everybody else, give anything other than roses, because roses, although the flower of love, are terrible this time of year and don't smell of that beautiful rose scent. And finally, the one flower that you must not give is snowdrops, because this will bring unluckiness and misfortune to your relationship. The 19th of February is the day that the coltsfoot flower will bloom. Now, coltsfoot is supposed to be used to get rid of molehills, and I've no idea how you do this. I presume you just pick it and stick it in there. But yeah, it's an old charm, and so therefore, if you have a problem with molehills, find some coltsfoot. The 20th of February is the day that the sun enters the house of Pisces. And so, as always, we're going to look at the calendar of shepherds from 1604 to see what they say about the Pisces man and woman. I wonder if they're nice this month. Okay. Man born under Pisces shall be a great goer, a fornicator, a mocker, and covetous. He will say one thing and do another. He shall trust in no sapience, meaning he'll pay no attention to people who have wisdom in other subjects. But he shall have good fortune. He will defend widows and orphans, and he shall be fearful on water, and shall pass all adversities and live until he's 72. He sounds all right to me. The woman shall be delicious. Another delicious woman. Wasn't there one previously who was delicious? Oh. Shall be familiar in jests, meaning she's got a good sense of humour, pleasant of courage, fervent, a great drinker. She shall have sickness in her eyes and be sorrowful by shame needlessly. Her husband will leave her, and she shall have much trouble with strangers. But she shall travel much and live until 77 years. That's the female. She sounds all right too, apart from the poor thing gets sickness in her eyes. However, there is an addendum to this one. It does say that both man and woman will live faithfully. Sweet. Are you Pisces, and is this true? I do like to get verification that these old calendar of shepherds has some basis somewhere. The 26th of Feb is the day that you should allow your hens to go broody and sit on their eggs, because eggs which are being hatched from today will create the best spring chickens. So allow your broody hens to sit from today. The 28th of February is the night of the new moon. Astrologers believe that each new moon takes on the astrological sign that it appears in. This new moon is in Pisces, which will help us stay connected with our soul and set our intentions for our highest and greatest good. And it is also a powerful time to write down your dreams and divine their meaning for the future. Use February's new moon to create the start of a dream diary if you haven't got one already, because this really encourages you to lean into your divination instincts. February is a beautiful month in many ways. I love the juxtaposition of February. At the beginning, it's incredibly cold and really rather horrible. And at the end, you can see the beginnings of life coming. It is a month for setting your intentions and cleaning. So let me know if that's what you're going to do. And if you would like to learn more about this and on a monthly basis, do come and join my coven. Go to patreon.com/Ginny Metheral and you'll see all the details there. And if you don't wish to join the coven, there's plenty of other tiers for you to look at. Please don't forget to like and subscribe because it would really help my channel. Otherwise, I will see you in my next video.